air, the oxygen. We are all connected. And though we may not always feel completely together, we are really one. Yes. So we recognize in this moment, whether it's through a subtle warmth of another body or the thought of breathing the same air, that we are all consciously connected. There is no true separation. And that when we open our hearts in the moment to ourselves, we open them to others. And when we open them to others, we open them to everything that is in this universe. And that, my friends, is what it is about. So we breathe in deeply, feeling gratitude that we are all connected here today, in this moment, here and now. And so it is. I'm going to read from a book called The Power of Kindness, The Unexpected Benefits of Leading a Compassionate Life. It's by Piero Ferrucci. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a little story, and as a lot of you might know by now with me, I love a good story. So, being able to forgive and being able to say sorry are two sides of the same coin. Both require the same humility and flexibility. An Eastern story tells of a rigid and authoritarian king who wanted everyone to call him luminous and noble divinity. He liked the name and wanted it. One day he discovered that there was one old man who refused to call him by that name. The king had the man brought before him and asked him why. Not out of rebellion or lack of respect, but simply because I do not see you that way, said the old man. It would not be sincere. For his sincerity, he paid a high price. The king had him locked in an awful prison for a year, then brought the man before him once again. Have you changed your mind? I am sorry, but I still do not see you that way. Another year of prison in the darkest cell and only bread and water, he lost more weight, but did not change his mind. The king was angry, yet also curious. He decided to set him free and to follow him in secret. The old man returned to his poor fisherman's shack, where he was welcomed with great joy by his wife. The two talked while the king listened in hiding. The woman was furious with the king for taking her husband away for 2 years and treating him so cruelly. But the old man was of a different mind. He is not as bad as you think, he said. After all, he is a good king. He has looked after the poor, built roads and hospitals, made just laws. The king was highly impressed by the words of this old man who bore him no grudge. On the contrary, he could find his virtues. The king felt a deep wave of bitter remorse. Weeping, he came out of his hiding place and stood before the man and his wife. I owe you a great apology. Despite what I have done, you still do not hate me. The old man was surprised and said, What I said was true, O luminous and noble divinity. You are a good king. The king was astonished. You called me luminous and noble divinity. Why? Because you are able to ask forgiveness. Do we need to explain why the capacity to forgive is inherent in kindness? Maybe it is obvious, but let us say it anyway. We cannot be kind while we carry the weight of our resentments, nor while we remain too rigid to ask forgiveness, nor if our emotions are colored by guilt or vindictiveness. We can be kind only if the past no longer dominates us.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I appreciate this opportunity so much. I've had a week that will go down in my books, at least I think, for very memorable. This song came from this week. I was at a birthday party on Wednesday evening in Hollywood, and somebody sang this song. And when they sang this song, it was like the songwriter wrote it for me. And it went straight to my heart and deeper. And I found out the next day that the songwriter had passed, just passed. And I so happened to have worked with her daughter on an event earlier, so I had her daughter's information, and I texted her daughter and let her know how much her mother's song had spoken to me the night before. I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, but I felt like that songwriter was in my heart, speaking right to me. So I felt like I had to do this song today because it had so much meaning for that moment. So when we're little kids, we're in our subconscious mind for the first 7 years. We're sponges. Everything we take in, we believe. It's just, that's what it is. When we're 8, all of a sudden we have a conscious mind, and then there's confusion, right? And for the rest of our lives, we're confused. But at some point, we get some wisdom, and this song really pointed to me what that wisdom needs to be. Look what they've done to my song, Mom. Look what they've done to my song, Mom. Well, that's the only thing I could do half right. It's turned out all wrong, Mom. Look what they've done to my song. Look what they've done to my brain, Ma. Look what they've done to my brain, Ma. Well, they picked it like a chicken bone, and I think I'm half insane, Ma. Look what they've done to my song. I wish I could find a good book to live in. I wish I could find a good book, Mom. Well, if I could find a real good book, I'd never have to come out and look at what they've done to my song. It'll all be alright, Mom. It'll all be alright, Mom. Well, if people are buying all those shares, I'll be rich someday, Mom. Look what they've done to my song. But look what I've done to my song, Mom. I think it's time for my song, Mom. And I'm the only one who can sing my song, and it's time to live my life, Mom. What can love do for my song? What can love do to my song?
Isn't it amazing how when you hear something that's so familiar in a different voice, how that message comes through so clearly, so uniquely? Thank you, that was lovely, lovely. All right, we're still working out the stagecraft here. So we're going to move the candle up front. We're going to get the water up off the floor. Yeah, let's put this back here because, I'll need that. And we're going to light a candle. And I'm going to read a poem while I light the candle today. This is John Rodell. And it really has a little bit more to do with last week's talk, but of course I found it after Sunday morning. So you get to hear it this morning. If you remember last week, we talked about forgiveness and how necessary it is to clear the air, clear the energy as we go through life and not to let things build up. So I light this candle not for gates and doorways, but for the porch. You are somebody's front porch to God. You are someone's doorway to mercy. You are the world's threshold to kindness. You are my entrance to letting go of regret. No pressure, but your life is a gateway to peace for both strangers and friends alike. Whether you realize it or not, empathy has chosen you to turn your heart into a welcome mat for others. This is one of the purposes of your life, to let your existence become a candlelit veranda of hope for the rest of us to gather on as we hold each other close during the long, dark night. We are here for each other. And when we are true to ourselves, we are here in and as love. So this week, the talk is called Right Now. And I want to talk about how the present moment is truly the gateway to us learning to live in a way that lets us love our life. It's in this moment that we have power. And how we spend this moment can either take us deeper into spirit or farther away from our heart. We get to choose. We get to choose. So the thing I started with was, what is it, where am I in my head, in my emotions, in circumstances when I don't love my life? You know, when I'm stressed, when I feel regret, when I'm reliving old trauma, maybe I'm just reliving the argument from 2 days ago that I didn't win or thought I needed to win. I don't love my life when I'm afraid. Tell me, how do you know? What are the symptoms in your life that you know you are out of balance, you are not loving it? How do you know you're out of balance in your life? I've told you before, I swear. I can tell when things are not right because all of a sudden every sentence I say has bad words in it. How about you? How do you know you're out of balance? Anybody?
I sleep.
You sleep. Time-honored tradition. Let's just withdraw. A lot of junk food. Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Yes, impatient, cranky. Anybody in the cranky club? Yes, if you're in the cranky club, you know that something's not in balance in your life, that somehow you are not feeding your own soul, you are not supporting yourself. You're not walking that balance between the past and the future, which is what we've been talking about all month, right? Marianne Williamson reminds us that we do not heal the past by dwelling there. We heal the past by living in the present. And isn't that true? Because we know that there are things in our past that we relive in our minds over and over and over again, much to our detriment, usually. You know, the stereotype is the guy that was great in football in high school, and that's where he stays. Nowadays, he sits at the bar and tells everybody of his high school prowess, and the rest of his life has passed him by. We have this ability to walk a line between the past and the future in a way that allows us to feel like we are in balance. If you picture a set of scales with two trays, with the past and the future, one on each side, balance is that midpoint. It's that line down the middle. And it's not to say that we don't look at the past or we don't plan for the future, but we do have to have a little discernment, especially about our memories, right? We can beat ourselves up forever. Anybody in the forever club? Yes, there are things that you could just find forever wrong with you, forever. But that's not the truth of us. You know, we're not meant to have amnesia about the past. If we didn't have any memories, we wouldn't be able to remember anything, and there's a name for that too, and that's not where we want to be. But we do need discernment. We do need to pick and choose just a bit. We do need to know what it is we want to focus on. There's power in the present moment when we look at the past or look at the future, and then we choose where to put our focus. The only power we have is what we do right now. Well, how we want to act, what we want to say, how we want to respond, what we want to do next, what we want to think, how we want to feel. We choose that in the moment, not in the past, not in the future, right now. Right now. Scott Aubrey is a Science of Mind minister with a fabulous website all about lots of quotes and deep thinking and many essays. And here's some pieces that he wrote about being in the present. He said, we think of eternity as a very long time, but the mystics don't see it that way. They see eternity as the timeless moment, right? You know that place where you are when you're in the midst of a loving embrace, or you're in the midst of creating something that only you can do. When you're out in nature and it overcomes you. Those are timeless moments. We are unaware of time itself. That is the eternal now. That is where we live. It's beyond time. And it's the closest we get to the heart of pure spirit. That spirit that lives in us and surrounds us and gives all life. But most of the time, we dwell in yesterdays and dream forever of tomorrows, and we bind ourselves with the chains of time and the ghosts of things really not present. Like a Christmas carol, right? We're always haunted by ghosts of the past and perhaps of the future. Our gifts and our blessings are found in the present. When we learn from our past and change the way we are in the world to our betterment, that's living in the present moment, not reliving something that was negative or difficult or detrimental to us or someone else. Aubrey quotes Emerson. Emerson says it this way: "These roses under my window make no reference to former roses or better ones. They are for what they are. They exist with spirit today." There's no time for them. They're simply the rose. It is perfect in every moment of its existence. But man postpones or remembers. He does not love in the present, but with the reverted eye laments the past. Or heedless of the riches that surround him, stands on tiptoe to foresee the future. He cannot be happy and strong until he too lives with nature in the present above time. And we aren't roses. So, of course, we're going to enjoy our memories. Of course, we're going to grow from the past. Of course, we need to have vision and hope for the future. But we have to know, too, that this present moment is not bound by our memories or our plans. We know the future is not bound by our plans because we make plans all the time, and that's not what happens. And yet, having a direction, having a pull, recognizing what our heart desires fills our life with the things that we love and allows us to love our life. Miguel Ruiz talks about how future is just possibility. And we don't have to believe in the opinions of the past. You realize that when you think about your past life and all the things that have happened, you're thinking about what happened. You have an opinion as to what happened and whether it was good or bad or hard or easy or helpful or not. Opinions are like weather. They blow through. You're the sky. You hold all of it. So when we recognize where we are right this minute and the power of choice that we have, we are really exercising our freedom to be and become. what we're really called to be. Psychoanalysts are fond of pointing out that the past is alive in the present, but the future is in the present also. The future is not some place we're going to, but an idea in our mind right now. It is something we're creating that in turn creates us. Something we're creating that in turn creates us. The future is a fantasy that shapes our present. So it's like we're planting seeds, right? Or if you want to say it another way, live in the present as if the future is going to become the past that you have changed. Time travel. We all love time travel. You all saw Back to the Future. And the whole point was to go back in time in order to change a couple little things so that the outcomes would be different. Why don't you change your future now? Why don't you make those small adjustments now so that the future that you truly want is what shows up? Why get all the way there and then go, oh man, I wish I'd... Kind of hard to do that wish thing. But we can plant seeds now. We can know what it is that our heart wants. We can know what it is we're pulled to become, to express, to be. We can know what it is to love ourselves and our lives more deeply. And where we don't feel it, we are at choice as long as we are aware. Right? It's the conscious mind that understands the present moment. I love what you said about up until age 7. You know, we're just sponging, we're just taking it all in, we're just accepting. Some of us don't get past that point at 8. Sometimes it takes a little longer to have an opinion about more things. But the truth is, wisdom and perspective and spiritual understanding bring us to a place of knowing that, yes, our past has shaped us. Yes, there is a future in front of us. And yet, truly, right where we are is the truth of us. And standing here, we can do anything. We can do anything. Now, how do you do that? How do you plant those seeds? How do you change your future? How do you make it different when you feel out of balance, when you're, cranky and sleepy and no fun to be around? Well, one of the first things to do is breathe on purpose, like paying attention. Like do it now. Breathe in and breathe out. And when you are focusing on your breath, that's all there is. When you are focusing on your breath, you're in your body. Eckhart Tolle says the body is the gateway to the spirit. We don't get to our spiritual, abstract knowing stuff unless we are in alignment with our physical selves. This is the vehicle. What was that? A DeLorean, the car in Back to the Future. This is our DeLorean right here. Might look like crap, but it goes really fast. If you saw the movie. All right, so we can use breathing as a bridge to get anchored in the moment. But here's another idea. Eckhart Tolle also says, watch the thought, feel the emotion, observe the reaction, and don't make a personal problem out of it. Oh, don't make a personal problem out of it, because that's what we do, right? Oh my God, I'm so upset. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with the world? No. See it, feel it, choose. Choose what to do. Don't make a personal problem out of it. Decide what you want to do. I came across this quote from James Baraz, and I apologize, I don't know who James Baraz is, but I do like what he said. Mindfulness is simply being aware of what is happening right now without wishing it were different. Enjoying the pleasant without holding on when it changes, which it will. And being with the unpleasant without fearing it will always be this way, which it won't. Again, weather, right? If we are the sky, all of these things that pass through our lives are just that. They're like clouds. Yes, it rains. Yes, it gets dark. Then it gets light again. Then the air is still, and then it's not. And through it all, the vastness of possibility, the totality of everything above and beyond us is ours. It's ours. awaiting our conscious recognition of it. So ask yourself, what is right now? What is true right now? What is happening right now? So in this room, we're sitting in chairs, you're looking at me, maybe you're looking out the window, maybe you're working the soundboard, maybe you're thinking about your shopping list, or maybe you're trying to figure out exactly what it is you need to give your attention to. What is true right now? Anchor yourself in the present moment. Another way to ask that question is, what is right now? Not what's wrong. What is right now? Because when we are in a doomsday spiral about the past or the future, we're looking at what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, how we need to be fixed, how you need to be fixed, what somebody needs to do to fix something, as opposed to taking a pause in the day and appreciating what is right. Remember, our gifts and our blessings show up now. We can see the ones we had in the past. Maybe we even understand blessings better that came to us from the past. But the appreciation is in the moment. And what we appreciate grows. And those are the seeds we are planting for the future we want to create, so that we don't have to come back through time and make it different. We are making it different all the time. There's a close relationship between a house full of possessions and a heart full of desires, between a cluttered closet and a crowded schedule, between having no place to put possessions and having no priorities for our life. These are precious clues. They remind us to slow down, to live in the present, to reduce the desires that drain our vitality, to clarify priorities so we can give our time and attention to what matters most. When you take the time to really know what matters most to you now, the person that you are today, however it is that you got here, here you are. What matters? What is valuable? What do you honor? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your friends and family? What do you want for your country? What do you want for the planet? To be able to feel into that and realize that whatever you do right here, right now, empowers that future to show up. One seed. One seed. You never know where it's going to bloom, right? You never know who's going to hear something you say, pass it on to their kids, and that's the one that changes the world, or replants the rainforest, or creates a new way of treating schizophrenia. I mean, anything is possible. We live in this field of possibilities. And so my invitation to you this week is to open up to that possibility. When you find yourself too far in the past or too much in the fear of the future, bring yourself back to center. Balance yourself with this idea that there are things that are right now. And that right here, where you are, is the very power of the creation of life itself. Namaste. I invite you to join me in prayer. And what is prayer but a centering affirmation of that which is true? There is one life. That life is good. That life is God. That life is my life now. There is an energy of life that is expressing as through and around me, is through and around everyone here. All of life is that one life. And that life is a life of possibility and potential. The infinite good that is the truth of our being simply awaits our recognition. And what I know is that in and as this life, the infinite possibilities of good are mine. Those which are meant for me as me those which are meant for you as you are available. And so I speak a word for this journey that we are on called life, that we might scatter seeds of good wherever we go, that we might recognize the roses when we see them as the perfection that they are, even if those roses are disguised as people or finances or nature or our enemy. For there is truth in the heart of everyone, and that truth is a seeking of love, a desire for peace, a place to call home. Let us come home to the truth that we are. Let us remember the truth of who we are. And let us know somewhere deep in our bones that time is a tool, not a corral. That past and future are simply under the umbrella called experience. And that all of the experience that we are, that we've had, simply point us to ever greater good. And so I simply let that unfold with a sense of gratitude. For I know that what I'm grateful for will expand and multiply. It's promised. I've seen it. Right here, right now, all is well. Right here, right now, again, all is well. And again, and again, and again. So letting this be so, letting my heart be at peace, I release my word into that one consciousness, that one mind, that is love. And simply let it unfold in space and time as I see it, knowing that it is perfect, whole, and complete. And so are we, and so it is. We have an affirmation in the bulletin. I'm going to invite you to repeat after me so that our friends online can participate with us. The gateways to wisdom and learning are always open. And today I choose to walk through them. I move out of the past and into the totality of possibilities. And so it is. All right, let's welcome our musicians back, shall we? So I think I told you the last time that my talk was a little shorter than usual, which gave you time to tell your story. And today I finished at 11, which is very much shorter than normal. And here we are right on time. So obviously something in me knew that the space was needed, because that's perfect. And that's really good news. It's really good news. And I love that song. And I'd like to hear all of our Centers for Spiritual Living centers singing and hearing that song. That's really where we are as an organization these days. Looking for ways to take our philosophy out into the world in a way that's very concrete, very supportive, doing what we say we believe, which is inclusion and kindness and seeing the divine in everyone, and that requires us to show up. And so that's a perfect vehicle for that message. So thank you, Janelle. Thank you. All right, we have, let's do our time of contribution next. Let's take this feeling of being connected to the world, being part of what happens in and as life from our highest place, and speak a word of gratitude for the things that we give to and the things that we receive, because we know that's two sides of the same coin, right? Giving and receiving, it's all the same thing. We have a community, a campus, a teaching, we have music, we have classes, we have all kinds of ways that we show people how to live their best life, whatever that is for them. And it's only happening because centers like this one contribute to that process through finances, through volunteering, through everything from, Johnny was here sweeping leaves this week. Sean was up on the roof with Ed cleaning out gutters. Everything, Drag made coffee. I think there's donuts today. I mean, all of these things work together for good, and that is who we are. And so in a moment of gratitude for all that we are, say with me our prosperity affirmation, if you will. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. It's true. For those of you here in the room, there's a basket in the back for your contributions today. For those of you online, there's a donate button on our website and also in our weekly e-blast. I also want to remind you that your practitioners are always available for prayer support. Whether it's after service today, talk to Drac, talk to Mary, reach out to someone who will know the truth with you and for you when you can't maybe remember it for yourself. There's also a prayer request form in the back that you can drop into the box, and the practitioners will take that and do prayer work all week. Or during the week, you can call us. There's a mailbox option for prayer, and that is a confidential line that then goes to the practitioners. So we have a lot of different ways of supporting each other, and that's one of the best. Okay, right after service today, Reverend Mary has a workshop going on called Wealthy Thinking, Abundant Living. Who doesn't want to be more abundant, right? This is a love offering workshop where the plan is to start at 12:15. That might be maybe a little earlier, since we might finish a little early. It's an hour and a half, and sure to have some nugget in there that you didn't know you were waiting to hear. So yes, go like this. Okay, all right, we'll see. Oh, well, it's a chatting workshop. Who doesn't love a chatting workshop about abundance? All right, that's great. I want to remind you, too, that this coming Wednesday is the reinstatement of our Wednesday night gateway service. So 7 p.m. here in the chapel. We're starting up again on Wednesdays. And this first week, the topic is 2023 was a good year. So if anything at all happened to you in 2023 that was good, come on Wednesday and we'll talk about it. Because we're setting it up. We're setting up our next year. We're setting up a new program. We want you to be here, be a part of it, and have your voices heard. So Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Before the Wednesday night service, there is a meditation in the practitioner room, 6:15? Yes. 6:15, which is the practitioner room is in the next building. So if you want to do a meditation with Nisa, our practitioner, who's like the master of meditation, come do meditation first and then join us at 7 for the service and conversation. We have a couple classes coming up, starting the first week of February, so in a couple weeks. One is based on the book, This Thing Called You. and the other is based on the book, 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life. So the Infinite You as the Universe is a Thursday night class from 6:30 to 8:30. The 5 Gifts for an Abundant Life is a Tuesday night class. And please know that if, like, maybe you don't drive at night, maybe an evening class doesn't seem like a possibility for you. You know, we have technology. We have skills. We can Zoom you in. You can be part of the class from wearing your jammies in your living room. Your choice whether or not to turn your video on, but you should turn your video on. But it's possible to do class even in the evenings, even if you can't make it here. If you can come here and be in person, that too is a valuable experience. So if you are interested but not sure if it'll work for you, please put your name on the sign-up sheet. Make a little note, don't drive at night, or want to be online, or can only come at 7 o'clock instead of 6:30. Whatever it is, put your name on the list. Let's work it out so that you get the benefit of the class. Because what I know from over 25 years in this teaching is that your life is better when you're in class. And if you don't believe me, then you'll just have to prove it to yourself, won't you? Yeah. So sign up. Okay, got that. Also, don't let finances stand in your way. If the cost seems like it's not something you can do, again, please talk to us. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. We have scholarships. We have donation options. We have pay-as-you-go. We have payment plans. I mean, whatever it takes. We just want you to have a chance to truly apply what we talk about on Sundays in your everyday life. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, I'm good, but you're with you all the time. You're not with me all the time. So it's better if you can do this for yourself, and that's the goal. All right. We also have some exercise/enjoyment classes. We have line dancing on Tuesday nights in the hall. We also have belly dancing on Wednesday nights, and these are teaching classes. So if you've never done it before, these are the classes for you. There are flyers on the back table that tell you all about it. We also have this coming Saturday is the drum circle. So once a month there is a community-wide drum circle that meets in this room. You don't have to bring any instruments. You can come as you are. It's an amazing experience. It's an amazing, yes, Drac.
Now, it says on there 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is when we start the circle itself, but at 2, he has a contemplative thing he does with drums as well. It's really quite remarkable if you want something low-key and to meditate.
So like a drumming meditation at 2, the actual circle starts at 3. Come for any or all of that. That sounds lovely. So that's the drum circle has been meeting here for years and years and years. There's a newer instructor this last year or so, and it's a fabulous experience. So if you're free on Saturday afternoon, this is a really great place to be. All right. Do we still have food donations that need to be delivered? I think we do in the sanctuary. Yeah, if any of you have, a hatchback, an SUV, an empty back seat, we've got food donations that need to go to Hope Partners or Foothill Family Shelter. So if that's something that you might be able to help out with, please let us know. We've got donations that are ready to go, and I would like to get those to the 2 food pantries that we support. Okay, what else? Anything else? Are we good? We have coffee and goodies next door in the classroom when we're done. We are still working on congregational songs, so we're looking to start that in February. It's coming, so I know I keep saying it, but I keep meaning it, so just hang in there with me. Anything else? Are we good? All right, well, let's stand up and spread out and sing.
Yeah. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I love you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and